Greetings and welcome to week 7. I'm in Chicago and it's cold and I'm not dressed properly because I was supposed to be in Sao Paulo by now, but flights were canceled and then we were redirected and now we have a day in Chicago unexpectedly. There's Chicago over there. That's the Willis Tower, which used to be the Sears Tower. And then over here is Lake Michigan. So we're in Chicago, but tonight we leave from Chicago to Sao Paulo, and so tomorrow on Monday we'll be there. And I'll do another video, most likely from Sao Paulo, just to give you a preview of what's going to happen as far as content in the coming week. But two major things in the news. The first is that the Arab League has unanimously agreed to have a no-fly zone in Libya. Muammar Gaddafi and his forces seem to be taking over and defeating the rebels, and they're doing it based on their air power, their air superiority. And so the Arab League and now the United Nations are considering imposing a no-fly zone and not letting those flights get off the ground to cause damage to the rebels who are rebelling against the Gaddafi government. So we'll see how that goes in the coming days and weeks. The second big thing, that big piece of news, was of course the earthquake and then the tsunami in Japan. And that is news because of the tragedy of it all and because of the loss of life and just the terribleness of the event. But from an international relations standpoint, it's a fascinating case study because you see a whole international mechanism kind of spring into play. The United States sent aircraft carriers. 49 nations have decided to give aid to Japan. And so there is an international community that's rallying around Japan, and then the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has said that the United Nations will do whatever necessary to make sure that Japan stays on its feet. Two, from a security standpoint, the nuclear reactors, 3 of them possibly in Japan, are in danger of melting down or have had explosions and are melting down, possibly releasing radiation. Now that has a whole bunch of different possible circumstances that develop from the meltdown. But one of the interesting things is that stock markets across the world sank on the news of the tsunami, except for, I've heard of one, Saudi Arabia. Why would that be? Well, because as nuclear power looks more unstable, then oil looks more attractive. And so even with the unrest in the Middle East and the discomfort of the regime in Saudi Arabia, on news of the tsunami and on news of the possible failing of the nuclear reactors, Saudi Arabia, the world's largest oil producer, stock markets shot up. It's a fascinating case study, terrible as it is. We will talk about it more in the coming weeks. It is cold, and we are going to go find a cab and go back to our hotel. So, from sunny, cold Chicago, have a good week 7.